Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thanks for joining me today for a card making tutorial for the Inspire.Create challenges design team. So we're on challenge 134. This is our Case the Designer challenge this time around, and the designer we're casing is actually me, so that's fantastic. So you'll see in the blog post what we've been creating or what we've been casing. Okay, so it was basically a floating DSP kind of idea that I did with one of the annual catalogue stamp sets. So yeah, so the challenge is there for all the members of the design team, and of course you guys out there, if you wish to, is to recreate something using elements from that design. Okay, so if you click along into the description, there'll be a link to the challenge blog. So there will be links there directly to all the other design team makes. So they've all made some really nice things, all based on this sort of this layout. Okay, so my card, I have really gone sort of very clean and simple as much as possible with this, going with some brights for this particular card against that sort of monochromatic look with a very clean background. And instead of using DSP, I've actually just used coloured cardstock. I don't actually buy a lot of DSP, designer series paper, so I just went with coloured cardstock for my backdrop there. Okay, the sentiment is from Something Fancy, this nice lovely little blocked congratulations, and then the coordinating die set has this little sort of oblique banner in it, so that's perfect for that. Butterflies come from Brilliant Wings, so we'll be die cutting that as our little accent there. On the original sample there were flowers, so you know it was all about sort of having a circle and something to embellish it. And the circle itself, I'm using the stylish shapes, so this is a lovely stitched set. This is in the annual catalogue, so you get the banners, squares and the circles. So I'm just using the largest circle there to cut that. This one was using just layering circles, the plain circles, but I'm going to use the stitched one for the make today. So that's stylish shapes. It's a real tongue twister, that is. And just so you know, these ones are on a magnetic sheet that I've bought, simply because they don't sort of coordinate with they're not part of a bundle, and it just means that they're in the drawer and I can just get to them rather than stacked away in a cupboard with everything else. Okay, so all the stamps, all the dies that sort of are standalone, if you like, I kind of keep separate so that I can just lay my hands on them. Okay, so let's get started. So as always, I always try and mix up the colourways to give you other ideas. So we're still going to go with the sort of black and white theme, and we've got the vellum to create the circle element. So usual layers for the cardstock here. So I've got basic black, which is 4 by 5 3/4, piece of basic white, which is 1/8 of an inch shorter. This piece of vellum is it's 3.5 wide by about 4. It just needs to be big enough for you to be able to die cut your circle from. Okay, just got a little scrap of basic white for the sentiment as well, so those bits can stay to one side until we're ready to put that together. The backing piece, we're going to make use of our cardstock, because no one's ever going to know. We're going to die cut our butterfly out of the centre of our layering panel there, just to conserve some cardstock. And then on the original here I've used brights, but for this one I'm going to use the subtles. So we've got Calypso Coral, So Saffron, Pear Pizzazz, Blushing Bride and Highland Heather. That's going to be the combo. I was kind of going for a rainbow kind of ish look to this. I'm just going to work on a silicone sheet for this now. So like I say, this piece of vellum is just cut to be more than sufficient to cut out the that circle from the stylish shapes. And then I've cut these strips. They are 1/2 inch wide, and they actually were trimmed to about 4 inches, just so that I knew that I had enough room to manoeuvre, really. Okay, so we're just going to use some in fact, you know what, I'd used wet glue before, but I don't think I need to use wet glue. I think we're just going to go with my good old Stampin' Seal to lay these on. Now, I found that the best way to get the spacing sort of even, and it would be good if it was straight, but that's fine, was to start in the middle and then do the layers, sorry, put the next strip on, just making sure that they're sort of even, about 1/8 of an inch apart was what I found worked. So we're just going to do that and just build this up onto here, because it's easier to build it up and then die cut it. Well, it is, in my opinion. If you feel like you want to do it a different way, then that's fine, but I think it's easier to do it like this and then cut all the whole thing as a one. I'm totally eyeballing this as well, you know, it just needs to look evenly spaced, that's all. Okay, so about there. Okay, so now all we need to do is lay that over the top, and we can see exactly where we're cutting. We'll just pop a piece of tape over that. I'm going to get a fresh bit, I think. So just some old washi tape, and I still just sort of take off some of the excess tack on there, just to be sure it's not going to stick too firmly. If we put it on the outside, if it does tear, it's going to tear the bit that we're cutting away anyway. So we're going to die cut our butterfly. We've got this to die cut. Now, I think what we'll have to do, oh, actually no, there might be room. Just trying to fill the cutting plate with as much as possible, so we don't need to do too many passes of the die cutting, just to save some time, really. So on this scrap, then I'm just going to stamp this congratulations. This is just with black memento ink, just straight up and down. It's a really nice tiny little sentiment. So sometimes you want big and bold, and sometimes you want something a little less in your face, and this is just the ticket for this design. So we'll just use this lovely little banner thing that we've got in that die set, and we can pop that on there as well. Right, let's get all this stuff die cut. So that's all fitting on my plate like this, you see. So I'm trying to maximise as much space as possible on the cutting plate, and my die cut machine just sits on the desk next to me here. So sorry you've got a blank screen to look at right now, but just bear with. So we're going to roll that through. You might hear some crunching. Right, so we'll just lift off this, and then we'll bet everything will stick off. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's stuck there. That's fine. So sentiments, oops, oh, nice, and cut out there. Here's our lovely circle element, and I don't mind that bit's overhanging. That's fine. Okay, all right. And then we've got our excess bit there, and then our butterfly just got stuck to the, so that's our backing layer, don't forget, so we need to keep that, and we just need to make sure we poke out all the little bits out of this die. And we'll just release that from the die there. Just poke it all out, because you want these to be clean when you put them away, so that they're ready to go for next time. So just release any little trapped bits of cardstock from there, and we'll just have to do the same with here. So generally speaking, a lot of these bits will fall out with just a bit of a sort of flick and a rub, but I just need to use a bit of a pokey tool just to get those last few little pieces out. Doesn't take long. It's just the paper fibres just sort of like to hold on to each other, but it's all cut beautifully. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, and there's a whole heap of butterflies in that that die set, so you know, I've just happened to have picked this one. I would kind of call it a bit of a traditional butterfly, if you know what I mean. Oh gosh, there's all static on that, so let me just pop that to one side and out of my way before that goes everywhere. Okay, sorry about that. But I thought, oh, that's going to end up all over the place if I don't put that away. So, a bit of assembly now then. So this is all going to be nice and straightforward from here on in. Okay, card base. So this is our layer. So there's no stamping on this, so we can just adhere this straight down onto our black cardstock. And no one will ever know we cut a butterfly out the middle. Okay, and that's going to go onto the card base. Oops. So if you hit to stop by the blog, the Inspire.Create blog, link in the description, and see what everybody else has made. I already know what they've made. I've seen them already, and there's some really lovely things. All in, everyone's got their own style of crafting, so it's really nice when you see other people's projects using the same idea. Okay, and I have to say, the card that we're casing today, that I created, was actually an idea I had from seeing something that Jill Chapman had made over at Paper Daisy Crafting, and she's one of the ladies that I do the project share with. So, you know, lots of ideas to share, just your take on it. Just so we've got a bit of wriggle room to make sure this is centred, I'm just going to put blobs of multi-purpose on that, because it just gives you a little bit of time just to sort of make sure everything's all sort of centred before you commit. Now I'm going just above centre, trying to get it something like straight, so that's in place like so. Our sentiment's going to tuck in down here. Don't know whether is anyone old enough to remember Central? Oh, probably if you didn't live in the Midlands, you probably wouldn't know. But I'm sure it was Central News, so it probably was a Midlands thing. But their logo was kind of like this sort of moon with like a rainbowy kind of thing on it. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And then our butterfly's just going to pop there. Just going to adhere that by securing the body in the middle there, and have him fluttering off over here like so. And then I finished this sample off with some matte black dots, but there's a whole heap of things that we could be using. I'm just wondering what have we got in our new set of embellishments. We've got these lovely, these iridescent thingies. Oops, daisy, I've just chucked all my embellishments over my craft desk. Yeah. So these are actually pastel colours actually. So even Balmy Blue's not in this, but that's Balmy Blue and that's Calypso Coral, and these are sort of an iridescent, I think they just call them clear, I think. So how's about we use the Balmy Blue ones just to pull in that blue colour, because we haven't got it represented in the card. And we'll just take a trio of those and pop them on like so. There we go, that'll do. That's lovely. Iridescent pastel gems those were. So most of that's from current catalogue. You know, there's a lot of new catalogue stuff going on at the moment, so I thought it'd be nice to revisit some of our old favourites as well this time for this particular project. So there you go, that's lovely. I like those. Nice and clean and simple designs. I hope you like it too. Like I say, do pop into the description and have a look at all the links in there. And I hope to see your creations in there too. You just need to upload a photograph. You don't have to have a blog, or well, do you have to have a blog? I can't remember. But you can upload a picture of your design. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.